Good day, students. This day we are going to discuss another interesting topic, figures of speech. Of course, you cannot do away with this particular topic while you face your WAEC. Whether it's junior WAEC, whether it's senior WAEC, whether you call it NECO. So it's very important that you pay absolute attention. Your comprehension passage precisely is referring you to an underlined expression. What figure of speech is it? At least by the end of this lesson, you will have a good answer to give. Having said that, we now go to what you're supposed to learn by the end of the lesson. What we call instructional objectives. By the end of the lesson, you students should be able to do what? First, define figures of speech. Secondly, list examples of figures of speech. Thirdly, identify figures of speech in any written work. And then, the last but not the least, apply the use of figures of speech in their own write-ups. You are not just learning to pass the exam and move. You find out that tomorrow you may be a fan of writing. At least you know when you make use of personification, irony, metaphor, hyperbole, and what have you. Is that clear? All right. Our instructional materials. We have them from the book Fundamental Formula for the English Language by Oscar Iyoha, a practical guide to literature for WAEC and NECO by Chidebere Eze. All right. Having identified the various objectives expected of you by the end of the lesson, we now move to the business of the day. You now ask yourself the question, what do we mean by a figure of speech? A figure of speech is a word or a phrase used for vivid or dramatic effects. A figure of speech is a word or phrase used for vivid or dramatic effects. It is often used to add beauty or color to any write-up. You find out that any word that is representing any of the figures of speech, it is always somehow in any write-up. But you find out that it is there for a message. There is a message the writer is trying to put across. So it is very, very important because it's like somebody who is cooking soup. All the ingredients you may think of is inside the soup. That soup is bound to be tasteful. But if you are cooking soup and you just added water and color, I wonder how such a soup will taste. Therefore, when we are talking about a figure of speech, we said is a word or phrase used for vivid or dramatic effects in order to achieve your goal, in order to make your work presentable, meaningful. You apply the use of figures of speech. There are hidden words or impressions you want to create. You can only create that in your piece of work by making use of what we call figures of speech. It is often used to add beauty or color to any write-up. Always have that at the back of your mind. A writer describes figures of speech in a nutshell as the salt, maggi, onions, pepper, oil, etc., with which a delicious pot of soup is prepared. Just as I've said before, for your soup to be tasteful, all the ingredients must be there. The same thing to any piece of work, any write-up. For it to look matured, presentable. You find out that it is not just all about blowing the grammar, penciling it down. There are some, when you use any of these figures of speech, in the course of writing, you find out that your work will begin to look more than okay, matured, presentable. Is that okay? That's why I said a writer describes figures of speech as the salt, maggi, onions, pepper, oil, etc., with which a delicious pot of soup is prepared. If you are writing and you've not added what we call figures of speech, you find out that your write-up is still naked. We move to examples of figures of speech. The first one, simile. This is an indirect comparison of two things using as or like. In any given work, if the underlying expression is having like or as, you know that such a line is referring you to simile. Is that clear? So the symbol of identifying simile in a given work is the use of a as or like. It is a figure of speech that compared two things which differ in one way but are like in other ways. Okay, let's practice. Examples. Example A, his heart is like a stone. Of course, whoever we are referring to, we are told that the person's heart is compared to what? A stone. And if your heart is like a stone, it's not a good attribute. You should know that you are moving out of a normal human being. So the word there that tells us that this expression is a simile is what? The word like. The heart is like a stone. Okay, example B. She is as dirty as a pig. You see the comparison, direct comparison. She is as dirty as a pig. So they are comparing whoever that is she here to what? A pig. Example C. Obi fought like a lion. Of course, Obi is a human being, but you can see the energy in him is being compared to that of a lion. D. Okun eats like a monkey. That is funny. And when you eat like a monkey, that is to tell you that you don't have table manners at all. It is not a good attribute. But we are interested in the use of like there, telling you that this expression is an example of a simile. All right, the second example, we have a metaphor. What do we mean by a metaphor? Metaphor is a direct comparison. Remember, simile is an indirect comparison. Metaphor is a direct comparison of two things. It does not make use of as or like. Note it again. It does not make use of as or like, but rather metaphor works with the principle of equation. It equates this word, this attributes to this. The principle of what? Equation, in which one thing is equated with another. Any statement that carries a meaning that is different from the ordinary or literary meaning for which it is known is also said to be metaphorical. It's also said to be what? Metaphorical. So when we are trying to describe metaphor in its entirety, you find out that this principle of equation is the only language that will bring you closer to what we mean by metaphor. Principle of equation, in which one thing is equated with another. One thing this time is not resemblance, is equated with another. Any statement that carries a meaning that is different from the ordinary. You see, we are still explaining metaphor. Any statement that carries a meaning that is different from the ordinary or literal meaning, for which it is known, is also said to be metaphorical. Is that clear? Examples. This is not a laughing time, but listen and learn from the examples. Example, she is a pig. If somebody should tell you that you are a pig, or you are the she they are referring to here, just know that the person had already given you the highest slap, because the meaning is simple. The dirtiest person in the whole world is the person we are referring to. It's not just as you look at it, she is a pig. The ordinary meaning, no. It is far from the literary meaning. Meaning the person is a very dirty person. Then example B, the wind of death is blowing around him. It's still an expression equating, telling us that the wind here, referring to death, blowing around somebody. Of course, you should know what the person is talking about here. We are not interested in actually explaining the meaning of that expression, but telling you what they equate, the indirect way they are referring to whatever expression that is involved. Expression C, his heart is a stone. When you look at it, the heart is a human heart, but they are telling us here that is what is equated to a stone, which is giving us a deeper meaning from just the literary something expression we are seeing before us. The next example, D, Seki was a lion in the fight. Seki was a lion in the fight. You know, we are looking at Seki, we are looking at lion, we are looking at fight, trying to equate all, to have try to have a deeper meaning. But when you look at it literally, you know, it's not making any sense. But when you look at it in a deeper form of it, you find out that whoever that is putting down this expression simply means a very strong man. Lion is a fearless what? Animal. Whoever that they are talking about here is what? A very strong man. Are we there? And not only that, lion is a fearless, great, mighty, powerful animal. So Seki has all the qualities. That's why he was able to fight and win. He has all the qualities a lion has. And because of that, he was able to win. Are we okay? All right. Another example is example E. Jesus is the Lion of Judah. By the time you look at it ordinarily, it's making no sense, because I know that Jesus is the Lion of Judah. Jesus is God, as you know, can never be a lion, or, you know, the lion, the one at where? Judea. I mean, no matter how you want to look at the expression ordinarily, you cannot actually tell us what they are doing there, because the ordinary meaning is not what metaphor is talking but an indirect comparison is what is involved here. Jesus is the Lion of Judea, meaning he is powerful, great, fearless, and has the ability to protect his own at all costs. In short, king of the whole world. That is the interpretation of that expression. Are we there? Because when you look at lion again, You always know that lion is a fearless animal. Not to talk of using such to refer to Son of God. Jesus is the Lion of Judea, telling you the powerful man that could be found in this country, in this community, in this village, in this town called Judea. He is powerful, telling you that Jesus is powerful, Jesus is great, he is fearless, and has the ability to protect his own at all costs, protect all of us. In short, that's why we say that he is the King of the whole world. Are we together? I presume we are. All right. The next figure of speech is what we call the personification. If you remember vividly in your junior secondary, this particular figure of speech is very common with the junior secondary. But if you have forgotten, yes, you still have an opportunity to study the particular name called personification. And what do we mean by personification? It attributes human characteristics to inanimate objects or abstract qualities. Let me take it again. It attributes human characteristics to inanimate objects or abstract qualities. And ordinarily, you can as well say that when we talk about personification, that is when an inanimate object is wearing the clothing of an animate. When something that is not a human being is acting like a human being. I hope I'm there with you. Of course. Let me take that place again, personification. It attributes human characteristics to inanimate objects or abstract qualities. Here, non-living things are made to behave as though they were human beings. To personify means to treat something as if it were a human being. That's why I said non-human being wearing the clothing of a human being, acting like a human being, when you know that such objects do not have mouth or hand or leg to do all those, but is acting like a human being. For example, example A will have the bright sun continues to smile. You can imagine that. Sun, of course, is an object. It's not a human being that we say will have a mouth to smile or have face. But you can see in the expression, the bright sun continues to smile. Has a deeper message to convey here, other than the literary meaning you are seeing, whereby the sun is now having the attributes of a human being that could do what? Smile. Are we there? B, death, be not proud. We can imagine again. Death. Somebody is telling death not to be proud. And of course, you know that death is not a human being. But here now, somebody is addressing death as a human being that should not be proud. C, the early arrival of morning. The early arrival of morning. Morning is now seen as a human being here, coming very early. So when you look at anything figure of speech, the meaning is far, far, far away from the physical expression you are seeing. They have a deeper meaning. And that's why when you are writing and you make use of them, it embellishes your work in such a way that, yes, people with good taste of writing will commend your work. Example D, the sky is angry this morning. Sky, of course, is an inanimate object. There is no way sky will wear the face of a human being and become angry. But here it is personified. The sky is what? Personified to be angry. The next one is what we call hyperbole. Hyperbole. What does it mean? This is a figure of speech that overstates a fact for the sake of emphasis. Look at your board very well. This is a figure of speech that overstates a fact for the sake of what? Emphasis. The crucial word here is what? For the sake of emphasis. This is a figure of speech that overstates a fact for the sake of emphasis. It says something bigger than it ought to be for the sake of the emphasis. When you over-proportion a particular thing just for the sake of emphasis. For example, example A, I have greeted you 1,000,000 times, but you did not want to respond. In an expression like this, I can't even see that person that will greet another 1,000,000 times. I wonder, is it going to take how many decades for you to complete that million? But here, the word million is applied in this expression in a figurative manner, telling you, whoever that is talking here had put more effort to do what? To greet. Just his or her ability to greet whoever that is involved. Are we there? But in order to make it bigger, look big, he said, I have greeted you 1,000,000 times. You see the emphasis being laid. All right. Example B. The hall is big enough for any type of occasion. It can even contain the whole world. Let me repeat it again. Really interesting. Hyperbole. The hall is big enough for any type of occasion. It can even contain the whole world. My God, you imagine a situation where the whole world will gather in one hall. Is the hall now the whole world? That's what you ask yourself. But here, for emphasis' sake, that is why the whole world is there. And not for any other thing. Because we all know that there is no hall that will contain the whole world, if not world itself. Is that taken? I presume, yes. All right. Example C. Don't doubt his strength. He can kill a lion with one hand. That is superb. The lion that we all know that is fearless. Okay. When you look at this expression very well, of course you know, with one hand, emphasize there. You know very well that even having additional hands, 1,000,000 hands, if you are not careful, the lion, just one, will finish you and devour your flesh. Not to talk of a human being using just one hand to do what? Kill a whole lion. Don't doubt his strength. He can kill a lion with one. So it's exaggeration, hyperbole. It's just laying emphasis on a particular thing he or she is referring to. All right, example D. John is so hungry that he can swallow the whole world. Still emphasis being laid. Telling you the level of hunger that is holding John. Is that clear? Okay. The next one is a euphemism. This is used when we express or present unpleasant words in a pleasant or polite way. Euphemism. This is used when we express or present unpleasant words or unpleasant expression in a pleasant or polite way. Example A. It has been long he slept in the Lord. My God. When we express or present unpleasant expression in a pleasant or polite way. Unpleasant expression, that is the word. When you present unpleasant expression in a very polite way. For example, again, example A, it has been long he slept in the Lord, simply means he died many years ago. So you can see, unpleasant situation or expression presented in a polite way. It has been long he slept in the Lord. You see, when you see such expression in any write-up, if care is not taken, you will not even understand that they are talking about somebody dying years ago. But with the knowledge of figures of speech, you find out that once you come across an expression like this, it has been long he slept in the Lord, your mind will just quickly tell you that he is talking about somebody dying years ago. Presenting unpleasant expression in a pleasant or polite way. Example B, I want to go to the small house. When you look at the expression physically like that, or literally, somebody will think there is a small house somewhere. You want to go and check what is inside the small house. But far from it, if an expression, I want to go to the small house, comes up, the meaning is simple. One wants to go to the toilet. So when you are writing, instead of telling your partner or whoever that is involved that I want to go to the toilet, you can simply tell the person, I want to go to the small house, and the message is conveyed. Meaning, I want to go to the toilet. Example C, the children of the night robbed him of his car. Hey, you will just shout and say, do we have children of the night? For me, I'm children of the day. I don't know about another person. But actually, that is not the meaning of that expression. When we talk about children of the night robbed him of his car, it means armed robbers, stroke thieves, robbed him of his car. Is that taken? D, Ken is a light-fingered fellow. When you look at this expression, you may think that machine had already cut Ken's finger or hands before, and is not making it to be light-fingered. But far from it, it is never the meaning. When somebody is light-fingered fellow, it means light-fingered fellow is used to replace a thief. Are we together? It means what? A thief. Somebody that is light-fingered fellow is what? A thief. Are we together? You can see a polite a way of presenting an expression, which is what? Unpleasant. A light-fingered fellow. You see how polite, how simple it is, and very sweet in your ear. But if you get down to the deeper meaning of it, you find out that they are referring to a thief here. Are we together? Okay, the next figure of speech is what we call oxymoron. Say it, oxymoron. That's the next figure of speech. What do we mean by that? It is used when we place two opposite or contrasting words side by side in a sentence. Oxymoron, again, it is used when we place two opposite or contrasting words side by side in a sentence, just for the purpose of emphasis. Just for what? The purpose of emphasis. Example or examples. Example A, don't mind her. She must have been a pregnant virgin. Imagine that. Don't mind her. She must have been a pregnant virgin. Look at the word pregnant. Look at the word virgin. How can somebody be pregnant and at the same time being a virgin? You find out that the two words there, they are contrasting each other. They are placed opposites. It's unacceptable. Somebody cannot be pregnant and you, at the same time, be what? A virgin. It's not. It can't go. It can't work. So when we talk about oxymoron, we said it is used when we place two opposite or contrasting words side by side. Pregnant and virgin, there are two opposite words lying side by side. The only thing is why they are there, the contrasting words, the two opposite words, why they are there is just for the purpose of emphasis and no more, no less. If not, the two, they are contradictory. Pregnant and virgin. Exactly. All right. Question, example B. Bola is a wise fool. You can imagine that again. Wise and fool. Tell me, can you be wise and then be foolish at the same time? So, at this point, it's just an emphasis being laid. Bola is a wise fool. Contradicting. The wise and the fool, they are doing what here? Contradicting each other just for emphasis' sake. See, he is an accused innocent. Somebody cannot be accused and at the same time being innocent. They are contradictory. It contradicts each other. Accused and innocent contradicts each other. The next, there is nothing wrong with her. She is a sensible lunatic. Imagine somebody that is sensible and at the same time lunatic. Of course, pick your dictionary and check them up. They are actually opposites. Really contradictory. Somebody cannot be sensible and at the same time being a lunatic. It cannot work. It's impossible. Exactly. But the important thing here is that they are just there for the purpose of emphasis. All right, the next is what we called rhetorical question. What we called what? Rhetorical question. Of course, by the time you are about to write your WAEC, your teachers revising with you, they are going to drill you more on what we mean by rhetorical question. But for the purposes of the internal examination, listen carefully here. You needed to know what rhetorical question or questions are all about. And what do we mean by that? A rhetorical question simply means a question that requires no answer. When you ask yourself a certain question, of course, perhaps you need no answer. So when you are asked a question in a line of any piece of work, such a question as do not require reply or an answer. It's just for you to read through it and continue where you are going. Whether it's in your summary work or in your comprehension passage. Once it's a rhetorical question, the question will be asked, but there is no expectation of any reply. Is that taken? So once more, we said that a rhetorical question simply means a question that requires no answer. It is a question that is asked purposely for its rhetoric effects and not for its responsive effects. Just what I explained. Examples. You have example A, but why were you ever created? This question could be thrown anywhere from this year to the next century. I don't know who will answer the question. Example B, what have I done to deserve this? Of course, something may transpire between you and whoever, and knowingly or unknowingly, you ask yourself this particular question. What have I done to deserve this? Then at this point, who do you expect to answer the question? Neither yourself or whoever that is involved, because the question is not for anybody to answer. And when a question is like that, it is an example of a rhetorical question. Then question C, example C, will no one tell me what she sings? Will no one tell me what she sings? Of course, it's a rhetorical question. No reply. D, what a mess have I got myself into this morning? What a mess have I got myself into this morning? You see, which you can as well ask yourself, who knows what you are doing that is messing you around? But actually, as you ask yourself that question, you need no reply. Therefore, when a particular question is asked in a line of a comprehension passage or a summary passage, and there is no possible answer to that, we call it a rhetorical question. All right, the next figure of speech is irony. And then what you ask yourself, what do you mean by irony? Irony simply means the opposite of what is meant. Remember, the opposite of what is meant. It is a stylistic way of expressing the exact opposite of what one has in mind. It is what? A stylistic way of expressing the exact opposite of what one has in mind. Examples? Example 1 or A. Peter is intelligent indeed. Oh my God. You can see, Peter is intelligent indeed. This is his 6th year in Ss1. When you look at this expression, horrible. Peter is intelligent indeed. Peter is intelligent indeed. This is his 6th year in JS1. If somebody invariably is intelligent, you don't expect that person to spend 6 years in a particular class. Telling you opposite, irony, opposite of whatever the person is trying to express. As I said before, Peter is intelligent indeed. This is his 6th year in JS1. You find out that is the opposite of whatever, whoever that is talking or speaking here had in mind. Somebody cannot be intelligent and stays 6 years in a class. Is that okay? Example B, the man is very rich. To mend his slippers is even a problem. Wow, that is opposite. In the sense, if somebody is rich, at times you need not to amend any of your shoes or slippers. Not to talk of somebody being rich and yet you can't mend your slippers or your shoe. So you find out that the expression there is opposite of whatever the person has there in mind. Example C, Okeke is a husband that every woman prays to have. He beats his wife every night. You can imagine that. If Okeke is a husband that every woman prays to have, so tell me, why should he beat his wife every night? So telling you, whoever that is speaking here is an opposite of whatever the person has in mind. Because somebody that is outstanding like that shouldn't do what? Lay hands on his wife. Precisely. Is that clear now? So when we talk about irony, irony is the opposite of what is meant. All right, having listened to that last point, we've come to the end of the explanations. Now to our real questions, our evaluation. Let me know how far you've been attentive, because one is to be in the class, the other one is listening to the teacher. All right, he said, label these expressions according to the figures of speech they belong. You are having before your screen various expressions. Are we there? I said label these expressions according to the figure of speech they belong. Yes, use your pencil and get down to the business. Let me read the whole questions, and after which we'll open the answers while you tick your own as I mention the answers. Expression 1. Don't doubt his strength. He can kill a lion with one hand. Question 2. Why can't it be daytime? Question 3. The angry mob has drunk from the cup of madness. Question 4. Why can't it be daytime? Yes, the question is repeated there. Question 5. Nigeria is like hell. Nigeria is like hell. Question 6. His honesty speaks good of him. Question 7. Ada is as tall as an Iroko tree. Ada is as tall as an Iroko tree. Question 8. The earth has drunk up the fluid. Question 9. Ada is a pig. And question 10. Jane is a core academic. She cannot spell her name out. Wow. So having listened to all the questions, now mark your work. Our answers. Here comes our answers. Question 1. Let me read it with what I have here. Question 1 says, don't doubt his strength. He can kill a lion with one hand. What part of a figure of speech is that expression? Where you can kill a lion with one hand. You find that is a hyperbole, exaggeration, hyperbole. You know, invariably, you can't kill a lion with one hand. The next question, question 2, why can't it be daytime? What is it? It's a rhetorical question. Question 3, the angry mob has drunk from the cup of madness. Equation, the angry mob equated to what? Madness, cup of madness. That is a metaphor. Question 4. Why can't it be daytime? That's where I said mistakenly it was repeated. Of course, you can say that is a rhetorical question. Then question 5. She is a pig. Am I right? No. Question 5. Nigeria is like hell. Nigeria is like hell. Of course, with the word like there, you will know that the expression is an example of a simile. So, is a simile. The expression is a simile. All right, question 6. His honesty speaks good of him. His honesty speaks good of him. So, honesty here, his honesty here is giving the attribute of a human being. So the answer there is what? Personification. Question 7. Ada is as tall as an Iroko tree. The as there is a symbol of a simile. Remember what we said about simile. All right, question 8. Question 8 says what? The earth has drunk up the fluid. Of course, the earth is inanimate to drink water, so he is personified here. Personification is the correct answer. Then question 9, Ada is a pig. Wow, a direct comparison that Ada is just like a pig. You know, we can't use like because it's a metaphor. Ada is equated to pig. Let me use that word that way. So the expression in question 9 is what? A metaphor. Then question 10. Jane is a core academic. She cannot spell her name out. Oh, wow. Opposite of whatever the person is having in mind. Is that clear now? Is that clear? So, having answered the last question, we have done justice to today's topic. All you need to do, go back to your school library, pick any textbook on literature, and then read out. This is an assignment. Read out as many more figures of speech as possible, after which you can revise the ones that we've treated so far. Because I know by your second year, that is SS2, all the ones we've not touched, you are bound to touch them. Is that clear? And that is the end of our lesson.